Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a lot of news to go over with you today, and the first one is the most important one that affects a large majority of the American population. But first, I want to say Merry Christmas to every one of you. It is the Christmas season, and therefore, instead of having a Christmas bash giveaway where I do a whole bunch of giveaways in one shot, what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to spread it throughout the next couple of weeks or so. So for about the next 2 weeks or so, I will be giving something away on every video that I put up. So after we go over the news, make sure that you stay and watch the review video that I've got for you, and also stay till the end to make sure that you know how to enter to win a reverse osmosis water filtration system. I will be leaving the link to the stories that I cover here today, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to the sponsor of this video on a pinned comment and also in the description of this video itself. Now, you would think that for a first world country, we wouldn't still be using lead pipes. Now, this is just Cook County in Illinois that are still using lead pipes to bring water from point A to point B. An innovative new project in Cook County offers select families affected by lead-contaminated water a crucial solution for human health coupons for water filters. In 2024, we still have water running through lead pipes. This announcement follows the release of a new EPA rule requiring most lead service lines in the U.S. to be removed in 10 years. Due to Chicago's high number of remaining lead service lines, the city has an extension for removal, giving it not 10 years, but 20 years. I wonder how many people actually know that there's lead running through their water. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I'm not trying to scare you, but this should scare you. This should scare you into doing something for yourselves instead of allowing the city or the government to do it for you. And even though they are providing families filters that remove lead from the water, what about the other contaminants like your plastics, like your chemicals, etc.? Every single year in the United States of America, we have more people passing away to this one drug or drugs that are being smuggled in through the southern border than we lost in the entirety of the war in Vietnam. Let me remind you that in Vietnam, or during the Vietnam era, we lost about 58,000 Americans over there. Every year we lose between 70,000 and 110,000 Americans to overdose. And most of it is because of the porous southern border. Ask yourself how much an administration that allows this to happen really cares about the American people. Musk and Ramaswamy go to Capitol Hill to talk to top Republicans about their upcoming job, which is going to be the Doge Department. The two have been chosen by President-elect Donald Trump to lead government financial reforms through a new advisory board. And who knows, maybe after everything that they discover that we don't need, we may have a balanced budget. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what I think about the balanced budget thing. The budget can never really be balanced, because if it is and we're not running a deficit, if we're not creating new debt into this fiat monetary system, I believe that the system will implode. Unless they already have a new system in line ready to go after this one goes down. Now, finishing off where we started, filtered but not bottled waters as a solution for families. So in Cook County, they're offering water pitchers with filters and replacement filters that take out the lead, and they're also telling the families, hey, buy bottled water, but that can get pretty expensive. Despite the program's positive impact, it leaves over 300,000 households on their own to access clean drinking water, while the local water systems work to replace lead service lines for the next 10 to 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. World health experts agree that there is no safe level of lead. Absolutely not. Even with recent regulatory advancements and funding, is estimated to take 2 decades to complete. Advocates continue to call for that timeline to be shortened, but we can't spend the money on replacing lead water pipes here in the U.S. We have to send it overseas. But families need a solution now, while the source of lead contamination is addressed. Lead service lines are not an isolated issue, with an estimated 9.2 million households still affected in the U.S. Are you one of those households that's still affected in the U.S.? Do you know this? Well, I have a link that I will leave as well where you can actually input the zip code to your area, and it will tell you how the water in your area matches up as far as what contaminants it has and what level of those contaminants are present in your water. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as previously stated, I have a short review video for you to take a look at, but take into consideration how important it is that you know that your water is clean to drink and to use for cooking, i.e. to consume, period. And even the best bottled water that you get is going to, over time, in my opinion, have microplastics in them, and you just don't need that stuff. I decided to do this video for a few reasons. Number one is Waterdrop sent it to me to review, but I've never seen an RO system that has a built-in total dissolved solids or TDS meter, which means that at any time that you're using the machine, it tells you how many parts per million of any kinds of total dissolved solids there are in the water that you're drinking. It has the fastest flow rate that I've ever seen. It will fill up your cup in a couple of seconds literally, and you can actually dial in exactly how many ounces of water you want it to disperse. It has a built-in UV light for that extra layer of protection against any kind of harmful bacteria or chemicals. It's very simple to install, even if you don't have any plumbing experience. And lastly, this thing is a really cool looking machine. And in case I forget to mention this later on in the video, take a look at the link and a discount code that I will be leaving in a pinned comment and in the description of this video so that you can go check this machine out, along with a vast variety of other RO systems that Waterdrop has to offer. Real quick, let me show you everything that this comes with. Of course, there is a technical assistance number that you can call if you need assistance in installing this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very easy system to install. Pretty much you have 3 hoses that you have to contend with, an inlet, an outlet, and a drain. That's pretty much it. In addition to that, you also have a plug that you need to plug the system into for electricity. This unit comes with 3 filters, and I have to say that they're the biggest filters that I've worked with up to this point, which is probably why this unit is rated to like 1,600 gallons of water per day. Well, the first one that you see here is the alkaline activated carbon filter, which is the one that puts the minerals back into your water after the water's been stripped of everything except for H2O. And the second one here is called the pre-sediment and carbon block filter. At first, it was a little bit difficult for me to take them out, but once you get the hang of it, you really don't need any tools. And the last one is the RO membrane filter. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is huge. In the back of the unit, you're going to have your inlet hose, which is going to provide fresh water to your unit. You're going to have your drain hose, which will connect straight to your drain. And you're also going to have your outlet hose, which will bring RO fresh water to your faucet. In addition to that, you will have an electrical plug that hooks up to your charging block, and you will have one that hooks up to your faucet. So obviously I already had this plumbed for a reverse osmosis system, a tankless as well. And as you can see right here is where you have your water splitter that goes from your main cold water supply over to your RO system. In addition to that, the only other real plumbing that you're going to have to do is to go ahead and attach the drain to your actual drain. Now what this red tube does is it attaches to the drain part of the RO system, and as the water is being cleaned, it takes any water that is dirty and it back flushes it into your drain. And you can see that the parts that came with this are pretty much identical to the parts that I've already installed. Now the last piece that we're going to have to install will be our faucet. And the way to do that is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just show you instead of tell you. If you would like to enter to win a Waterdrop countertop reverse osmosis water filtration system, all you have to do is leave a comment under this video with the words reverse osmosis, and a winner will be randomly selected and announced on my next video. So make sure to keep up with my videos so you can know if you won. We decided to go ahead and put a protective pad under the RO system just in case. We've never had a problem with any leaks whatsoever, but we had this hanging around and we figure it's a additional barrier of safety against our cabinets in case any leaks happen at all. This here is our inlet, and all we have to do is take this plug off of it. Right, same thing with our drain right there. Just take the plug off, and same thing with our outlet. And then all we have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is just put those hoses in there, plug this into the wall, and then we'll be ready to turn it on and see how it works. Make sure that you put your clips in here, okay? See, there you go. That's not going to come out now. That'll be our outlet right here. And here's our power block. All we have to do is just connect this right here. Very simple, to our power. And this is pretty much dummy proof, and the proof of that is that I can do it no problem. There's only one way that you can put these plugs in. That's it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here, and then go ahead and slide our RO system into place. And as soon as we plugged it in, it turned on and it's asking for water, but there's no water yet. Let's go ahead and turn on the water and see what it gives us. First thing we have to do after we turn on the water is make sure that we have no leaks. No leaks so far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see, there is water coming out of our faucet. And that started to occur as soon as the system got full or got flushed inside. As you can see, it says flush and then it has 29. When the system first starts up for the first time, it's going to flush for 30 minutes. It seems like a lot, but this is what the instructions state. So let's go ahead and let this flush. It will stop as soon as it's done flushing the system. Here we've got 28 minutes left. This is an alarm that will go off as soon as this little sensor gets wet. So you place this wherever you want it. You go ahead and place your sensor where you think there might be moisture for whatever reason, due to a leak or maybe too much humidity, because believe it or not, if rooms get too humid in your prepper pantry, it might go ahead and start having an effect on your tin containers. But this is very simple to use. You can get like a pack of 3 or 4 on Amazon for pretty cheap. It comes with a 2-sided tape right here that you can hang on pretty much anything. And as soon as you turn this on and you get this wet, it's going to have an alarm. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to have my finger on it, ready to turn off, because the alarm is pretty loud. I'm going to go ahead and grab my finger. You can see my finger's got a little water on, and watch. You hear that? As soon as you wipe the water off, see, no more water. Now it won't turn on because it's dry. So this is going to go down there. That way, if there is any leaks at any time, we can be notified quickly, because water is the killer of wood and furniture and floors. So if somewhere in between the flushing process for 30 minutes, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's still 16 minutes left on this. If you wish to turn it off or to pause the flushing process because you have something to do, all you have to do is just press down and it will turn it off. However, the 16 minutes or whatever amount of time you may have left in your flushing process will stay on there until you turn it back on just by pressing the button, and that's it. And did I mention, ladies and gentlemen, that this comes with a TDS monitor and a UV light that's in line with the system. So in order to turn this on to give you water, all you have to do is press on top. But if you wanted to give you a specific amount of water, instead of pressing on top, you can always turn it on by twisting the knob. And you can see that it automatically shows that there's going to be 5 ounces of water dispersed if you turn it on before it turns off. Let's go ahead and give that a try. I've got a cup down here. I think this is like a 6-ounce cup. It's not a very big cup. A 6 or 8 ounce cup, not sure. Let's go ahead and turn this on. Oh, okay, it's at 5 ounces. Let's go ahead and turn it on. It should stop on its own after 5 ounces. And as you can see, this is an 8-ounce cup. It did. That is pretty cool. Now let me go ahead and give this water a taste, because this says that the TDS, the total dissolved solids, is 15. Now why is that? Think about that, why I drink some water. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have to say that in all honesty, even though this comes with a filter cartridge that adds back those electrolytes or those minerals that the RO takes out, I don't see any difference or taste any difference in the water compared to an RO water that doesn't have one of those cartridges that adds back the minerals. But that, in my opinion, is why we're coming in with a TDS of about 17 or so, or 10, or whatever it may be, because of the minerals that are being added back to the water. So in this case, a TDS of 10, even up to 20, I would say, is absolutely no problem. As you can see here, you see how the UV, there is no light under it. Once you turn this on, it'll light up, indicating that the UV is actually working. And you can see your TDS here is 17. And the F1, F2, and F3 that you see indicated with a blue light under it is just telling you that the filters are good. Filter 1, filter 2, filter 3 don't need to be replaced. Now your knob here that you select how many ounces of water go in there, instead of selecting a certain amount, if you want a lot of water to go in there, like something that's going to fill up 2 or 3 gallons of water, like for example, I fill up the dog's water dish with this water, and it has one of those bottles on top of it that automatically disperses the water onto their dish. So what I would do with that is I would just put it on 999. So it's just one turn. It starts off on 5, and one turn brings it all the way to its max, which would be plenty for you to fill up pretty much any size container that you can fit on your sink. So now I'm going to go ahead and measure the TDS and compare it to the TDS that's here. Here it says 16. I went ahead and rinsed this cup off since I drank some out of it. Let's just go ahead and put in 2 ounces of water in there. Let's bring this up here, and let's grab our TDS stick right here, total dissolved solid sticks. Turn it on, and you can see that is at 0. Let's see what it reads. Now let's see, it's reading, let me put it on hold. There you go. My lighting is terrible. It's reading 19. So it's reading 19 off the cup, and off of the faucet is reading 16, which kind of makes sense because, like I said, I did put my lips on this, so there may be a little bit left over. But as far as the TDS, remember that it's always going to be a little bit like this one showing 16 because of the cartridge that adds back the minerals that the RO system takes out. And ladies and gentlemen, after about 30 gallons of water going through this RO system, our alarm hasn't gone off, which is a great thing. And there's no indication of any leaks anywhere whatsoever, which is a really good thing. Let me just show you one last thing that I do under my sinks to make sure that the air in there stays nice and dry. I always keep one of these damp rids in there because they work really great. And the way that these work is very simple. There's salts that are being suspended by a small screen which allows damp air to come through and settle at the bottom of the container. So every once in a while you have to go ahead and dump the water that's settled to the bottom, but that will keep this space right here from getting like muggy. And you know how sometimes it smells a little moldy and stuff because there's a little bit of humidity in the air? Well, that's going to stop that from happening in whatever space you end up putting a damp rid on. And ladies and gentlemen, there's not too much more that I can say about the Waterdrop X16. So thank you very much, Waterdrop, for sending me this system to review. I will keep you all updated on how it does in the coming months. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.